You get on your phone, you say you're just going to be on it for maybe 15-20 minutes just to check your socials, but then you look at the time again and it's already been like over 2 hours, and then you have that awful feeling because you didn't get anything done, and it's not even that fun, it's just addicting. I know I for one can relate to that, and I started to realize I am addicted to my phone. So just a few weeks ago I gave myself the challenge to not be on my phone as much and instead find some hobbies that I actually really like doing and that are way more fun and fulfilling than scrolling on my phone. And honestly, these hobbies have helped so much to stay off my phone. So today I wanted to give you guys 70 hobby ideas that you can do instead of being on your phone. I broke these up into 3 different categories. So we have health/physical activity, there's mind and education, and then finally DIY/art hobbies. I actually told you in the wrong order because I think I'm going to start with DIY and artistic hobbies just because that's the longest list I have and I feel like it would be the most popular. The first hobby is furniture flipping, and I really like it because there's so many different things you can do with it, and it's also a very inexpensive hobby because you can literally just find the furniture off the side of the road or for free or a really cheap price on Facebook Marketplace. You can just refurbish it, keep it for yourself, or you could even sell it. The next one is kind of similar because it is thrift and flip. You can go to a thrift store, find some things you like, and learn how to alter them or just add to them to make them look cuter. Next is drawing, and I personally am not good at drawing at all, but I still sometimes have fun with it. It can be relaxing, and that's the thing with hobbies. Even if you're not good at it, just as long as you're having fun, that is the most important thing. You could also do painting. I know there's so many different types of paints. You could do acrylics, you could do water painting, you could paint on a canvas, or you could paint those little ceramic things or the wood sculpture things that you can get from like Michael's or whatever. Making flower arrangements can be really fun because it's also a little decoration for your house, and if you grow flowers, that's even better because it's basically free, but if not, you can get some pretty cheap flowers from Trader Joe's and make a cute little flower arrangement. There's punch needle. That's something I've really liked doing, and it's super beginner friendly, really easy to learn how to do it. And there's so many things. You can like punch needle a pillowcase, or it can just be a wall hanging. I've also seen punch needle coasters or like hot pads. They also make those kits on Amazon if you don't have all the supplies for that. Another idea I had is cross stitch or some sort of embroidery, kind of similar but also completely different method. Rhinestone bedazzling, you can literally like get a cup or a pin or whatever, a phone case, and you can get rhinestones and just put rhinestones all over them and make them super pretty. Start a YouTube channel. Obviously that's something I like doing, and I would totally recommend if you've been wanting to do it. And if you don't want to post but you still want to make videos, you can do that too. Like just do little vlogs for your future self to look back on. Scrapbooking, keep all those memories, and you can do so many like fun little artsy things in scrapbooks. I've also seen those digital scrapbooks if you don't want a physical one. There's sourdough making, which is something I've been doing. There's candle making, and it doesn't have to be just like a normal boring candle. I've seen people make these cute little wax sculptures with molds. Like there's strawberries. During winter time, I've seen like Christmas trees, and also like the whipped candle wax. That looks so fun to do. Next we have soap making. Again, it doesn't have to be like a boring bar of soap. Like you can add stuff like flower petals into it. You can add scents. You can make it a fun shape. There's cake decorating, or you could also do cupcake decorating. I don't know why, but I've always been interested in just buying some fondant and then making like cute little sculptures for like a cupcake. I don't know, that just sounds really fun to me. Next is jewelry making. You could make bracelets, necklaces, earrings, pretty much anything. And perler beads. I know this is an activity I loved to do when I was little, but even now I would still do it it because it's just so fun. There's knitting and crocheting. I know those are two different things, but I put them together just because they are pretty similar. And then there's also macrame. I love those little macrame plant holders that hang from the ceiling. I have a few of those myself, and I think it would be so fun to learn how to do that. And then there's also sewing. So many different things you can sew. You can learn how to like make your own clothes, sew pillows, I don't know, dog toys. The next one I wrote down is making keychains. And again, there's so many different ways you could do this. You can use beads, you could use resin or polymer clay. And then that brings me to the next one, which is air dry or oven baked clay. I personally like oven baked clay better because I feel like it's a little more sturdy, but you can make these cute little miniature things, or you can make some sort of decoration. You could make a plant pot. You could even make magnets. Next we have soap carving. Just buy a cheap thing of soap and you can carve it into whatever you want. There's lip gloss making or any other makeup products you want to try making, but I feel like lip gloss is pretty beginner friendly because you only need a few ingredients. You can add a scent to it, you can add glitter. I know I've made like some color changing lip glosses, which was pretty fun. Making homemade cards for people's birthdays, holidays, and then you can just keep them, and whenever you need a card you already have some. And you can do this on Canva and then print it out, or you can also like actually draw and paint card too. Let's see, DIY home decor. There's so many different things you can do with this. I know this one's kind of broad, but if you look up on Pinterest like home decor DIYs, I've seen DIY sun catchers, DIY wall hangings to decorate your wall, DIY coasters. There's literally so many things you can do to decorate your house and make it at home. Next is photography. Literally, there's something about just going out in nature, going to like a nature trail or something, and then just taking pictures. And it doesn't even have to be outside, like anywhere you like to go, and just taking pictures. Making dog treats. If you have a dog or you know someone with a dog, that can be really fun, and you can make them like fancy too, like fancy cookies. If you want to frost them, you can just mix water and cornstarch and frost them, and it's so much fun. I put mine in the freezer so they don't go bad and my dog can use them up over time. I also wrote down graphic design. Again, so many things you can do with this. You can also design things and then print them out. Make bath bombs. That's something I really like doing as like a gift during the holidays, but also it's just fun to make some for yourself. There's gym painting. You can get these kits on Amazon or other places like craft stores, and it can be really therapeutic, and then afterwards you have like a cute little decoration you can put on your wall or wherever you want. If you're not into physical painting, I also wrote down digital painting. That can definitely be a lot easier, but still fun, and I know there's some apps you can get to do that. Next we have junk journals. I personally haven't tried this, but I kept on seeing TikToks about it and I feel like it could be pretty fun. Balloon animal making. I have tried this before and it's actually pretty fun to just look up tutorials and learn how to make balloon animals. And then this last one in this category is winemaking, which is something I just started doing with my boyfriend, so we'll see how it turns out. But I'm kind of excited because I think it would be really fun to be able to make my own wine if we can make it taste good. So the next category is mind and education. So the first thing I wrote down is Legos. I feel like Legos can sometimes kind of be a puzzle depending on how hard of a set you get. Next is read or listen to an audiobook. I know personally I am an audiobook girly because I can listen to it while doing something else. But if you don't want to actually buy a physical book, you can also go get yourself a library card, and that is usually free. I wrote down geocaching. I have tried this a couple times and it can be fun because it's like kind of hunting for a treasure almost, except it's usually not that big of a treasure. Take a class. There's so many different types of classes you can take. You can take it online or in person. I know I have a masterclass 1-year subscription So that has been pretty fun. Learn an instrument, I know that can take up a lot of time. Learn a new language, another thing that can take up a lot of time and also take quite a while to get good at. But I know my boyfriend does Duolingo, and there's other apps you can learn a language on. Next is writing. Literally so many things you can write about. You can write a book, you can write about your day, you can write a review of restaurants you've been to, literally anything you want. And that brings me to the next one that I wrote down is journaling. Just like writing down how you're feeling on a piece of paper, or doing like manifestation journaling or whatever you like doing. I also wrote down make a blog, or like just making a website. And then I also wrote down mind puzzles, so like Sudoku, crossword puzzles, things like that. Learn magic tricks. Polygraphy, if you don't know what that is, it's the study of different fonts. So you can learn how to like write in cool different fonts and stuff like that. You can make a podcast, you can color in a coloring book. I also wrote down puzzles, just the traditional puzzles, or I've also been seeing the 3D puzzles, which look really cool. And then last one for this category is origami. The third and final category is health and physical activity. So the first one I wrote down is gardening. I love gardening so much, and you can garden vegetables, fruits and vegetables, or you can just do flowers and make like little flower arrangements like I mentioned earlier. And if you can't do it outside, I would 100% recommend doing a hydroponic system. I have a couple of those, and I really like to grow lettuce and herbs in those. It's so much fun. I also wrote down volunteering. So many places you can volunteer. I know I used to do like volunteering at food drives and soup kitchens and stuff like that. There's also volunteering at animal shelters. You can learn how to cook, or learn how to cook new recipes that you've never tried before. There's dance. You can look up dance tutorials, and there's also so many different genres of dance too. So many different options. Baking. I love baking so much. Cookies, cakes, muffins, scones. There's also rock climbing. This you can do outside on like an actual rock, or you can do like an inside rock climbing gym. I have tried that a few times. Hiking. I love hiking, but I do live in Kansas, so there's not really actual hikes to do, but I do have family in Colorado, so I do get to occasionally go hiking in the mountains, and it's so fun. Paddleboarding or kayaking. I personally have a paddleboard, and my boyfriend has a kayak, so we like to go do that at the lake nearby. I'm sorry, my voice is like going out from talking so much. So next we have longboarding or skateboarding. This is something I used to do. You can even like learn tricks. There's a longboard dancing if you really want to get into it. I also just wrote down workout, like if you want to start working out, or if you want to try like different types of workouts. There's Pilates, yoga, weightlifting, HIIT workouts, so many different things to try. I've also been trying out bar recently. That's pretty fun. You can try a new sport you've been wanting to try. Train your dog if you have a dog, or if you know someone with a dog. Even if they're really obedient, there's always something more you can train them. The last one is making kombucha, which is something I have tried a few times. You just need like tea, a glass jar, sugar, and a SCOBY, which is like the little round thing that looks like a pancake. But yeah, there's not very many things you need to make kombucha, and it's actually pretty easy. Okay, that is the end of my 70 hobbies list to do instead of doom scrolling. I hope you guys were able to find at least one thing you're interested in trying, and if you did, let me know what that is. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!